Hi everyone, welcome to Common Use Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. Today we are previewing the match between Tottenham and Crystal Palace taking place at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Kickoff 3 p.m. Saturday, the 6th of May, the day of the coronation of the new King of England, King Charles. To join me on today's preview will be our resident guest, Mr. Chuma. Join me on the other side. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is Come On You Spurs TV, like I said, where we talk about everything Spurs. Today, with me, I've got Chuma. Chuma, welcome. How are you?
Oh, I'm super good. Happy bank holiday weekend to all Common Use Spurs Nation. Happy King Charles Day tomorrow, as tomorrow shall forever henceforth be known. And yeah, looking forward to Mason Ball at Tottenham.
Fantastic. This is your first time here. We welcome you. I want to say a big thank you for all of those who have been very supportive of joining us by subscribing to the channel. We are really very grateful. We're also super grateful to all those who share our content on social media. The more you share it, the better it is for us, and it helps the channel to grow. And especially if you're a Spurs lover, by all means, please share the content that you come across on here. And also, please subscribe to the channel if this is the first time here, if you like what you see, of course. And if you like it, of course, click on the like button. It helps the algorithm. I know whatever that means, but that means that we can sort of help serve you even better content over time. So we try not to be too complex here. Try to keep it simple, if you like. So yes, we very much appreciate your support. Long may it continue. Right, let's get down to it. Chuma, we coming up the back of an amazing in the sense that it was a really good match from a neutral perspective, right? I mean, if you watch that match against Liverpool, where we ended up losing on the wrong end of a 4-3 scoreline. But I mean, if you go back and look at that match again, which I've done a few times, I think to myself, how did we even lose this match? How did we get into a position where we were 3-0 down in the first place, you know? There's no way we could have lost that sort of match. I mean, what happened there? What happened, Chuma? Tell me. I know we've been over this, but one more look over, you know?
Off air, you and I were talking about the wonderful Brighton match yesterday, and you could see, like, position wise, drilled wise, Brighton are just on a different planet. Tottenham don't have that, and it's unfortunate for us that we don't. Um, we too would like to play out from the back. We'd love to do all those things, sucking people in. Well, none of those patterns exist at Tottenham. None of them exist, and I think the players are making it up as they went along. And defensively, we were shambles, and we conceded those goals. And then I think everything else that they probably more or less prepared for now now came into play, and you saw the fight back. And it's actually very interesting. I've watched the game as well several times, like you, and I've honestly come out to say that in a very, it sounds biased, being that we're Spurs fans. I kind of think Tottenham kind of dominate, but it's kind of changed. So,
Yeah, I think there's a bit
you
of a
know,
lapse in the connection there. What did you say? Sorry, you said Tottenham did what?
no, I said Tottenham seemed to dominate a match that they were behind, which is very, very strange. Which is very strange to watch.
Yeah.
Very, very strange to see, and that's what happened. We're kind of dominating a game, but for those defensive lapses, and my goodness, but for the cross, the three posts in two halves, um, couple of chances that should have been taken, wouldn't have been taken, a decision making, Kulusevski. Tottenham could easily have been like 5 or 6 goals in that game, and everyone says Liverpool took their foot off the pedal, but I'm sorry. I, I think Tottenham arranged themselves so well that they could have taken that game from Liverpool. So
Yeah, such a shame though. So we're coming up to Crystal Palace, who seem to be on a good run of form themselves. I think in the last,
yeah,
we'll look at the form guide in a minute, but in the last 6 games, they probably seem to have won 4. Actually, not seem to have won. They actually won 4 of the last 6 games, and they've had a new manager. Well, I
wow.
don't know if it's the new manager bounce or but Sir Roy Hodgson has come back, and
It's
good old
about
Roy seems to be getting into fire on all cylinders. They've only lost 1 of the last 6 matches and drawn 1. The other 4 have been victories. So it's and that's the Premier League. So that's absolutely
yeah,
amazing. It's
yeah.
it picked up what, for out of 18 possible points, they picked up 15 points. 14 points. Sorry, 15 points out of 18, which is actually really, really, really
Wow,
good.
that is amazing. That is amazing.
This is 13 points. Sorry, 13 points out of possible 18, which
No,
is really,
13
really good.
points, 13 out of 18, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is still great, which is
it's
excellent.
amazing. It's amazing. I mean, considering where they were before he came on, because they were being threatened with
Exactly.
relegation. However, I mean, some people will tell you that, I mean, Roy seemed to have come in at a time when they had what you might call a good set of matches that were winnable on paper. Because I mean, by the time Vera was sacked, I mean, it was that at the height of the sort of what I call the difficult matches that he was built to play. So the next sort of games that he had to play were what you might call, I mean, a bit of I don't know. How do you put
Flat
this
track,
now?
flat track,
Easier games. Easier
flat
games.
track.
And it's like, So I think maybe Roy had a bit of an easy ride there, if you like. But hey, who knows with these things? The reality of the matter is that when the time comes, you just think, okay, maybe he was lucky. Who knows? Who knows? But let's have a quick look at the form guide. Just sort of let's have a quick look at it, so that we're not just talking out of the blue here. Come on, so have a look. Tottenham. Oh, honestly, only one out of our last 6 games. Drew 2 and lost 3. I mean, and lost 2 rather. So I lost 3 actually, and it's what, 5 points out of possible 18 points. That's not good form at all. Some will even call it relegation form, if you like. Because on the form of tables for the last 6 matches in the Premier League, probably ranking our 15th. Which
Yeah, yeah,
which is not
yeah, but then,
not bad.
but then you look at who we lost to:
Yeah,
Newcastle, Liverpool. The only aberration there is Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
That's
Yeah,
that was that's the only poor one. But in terms of the games we lost, and then the game we drew against Manchester United, I think those were expected games to either drop points or trying to just get 1 point.
yeah.
So
But I mean, it turned out that okay. So I mean, Newcastle was probably the shambles of the lot. Everton, a big 2 points dropped in that match, because I mean we were 1-0 ahead. The bottom Lucas Moura, he got sent off, and then we went down to 1-1. I mean, come on, it felt like a big loss. The one against Brighton, I mean, okay, fine, granted we won that game, but we kind of scraped a win if you look at it. So on the face of it, so Bournemouth, I don't know. That's another bad day at the office, unfortunately. And then
yeah,
yeah,
if
we
if
just
you
sort
if
of
you convert Everton, if you convert Everton and Bournemouth into wins, that would have been 9 out of 18. That wouldn't have been that would have been okay if you said you were going to lose to Newcastle, Liverpool, and United, or even okay we draw with one of them. That would have still been 10 out of 18. That would have just been respectable.
yeah,
But
it's
5, oh my gosh, that's despicable.
yeah. So I mean, Newcastle are on a good. Sorry, I said Newcastle. Sorry, I mean,
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace are on a good run at the moment. I mean, I know it's one of these matches where, from our perspective, we just need to bounce back. We've got, and of course, a new manager who we know that there's a lot going on in Tottenham at the moment, right? So I mean, from many perspectives, there are those who say we need a new manager very fast. Some say keep Mason on and just try to grow with him. You know, we've tried all the big names. Why not give one of our own a chance? I don't know. I mean, you have a view on that, don't you?
Yeah, so I'm all for going for the targets. Um, I think someone's put down somewhere that they've narrowed, so they've done their due diligence. That was finished this week. So due diligence on all the coaches that are on their list. Now the rumors are the top four are um, Julian Nagelsmann, um, Vincent Company, Ruben Amorim, and Arne Slot, I think it is. Oh no, sorry, Xabi Alonso. Those are supposed to be the top four. Then you have Arne Slot and Ange Postecoglou of Celtic. They're outsiders. Brendan Rodgers is an outsider. And I think, okay, you put in Luis Enrique probably ahead of those outsiders as well. But the main one, I think the main target is Julian Nagelsmann. And then after that, any of those other guys, Company, Amorim. The Amorim one was actually quite interesting for me because if you remember, he's the coach of Sporting Lisbon, and they played Tottenham out the park in two matches in the Champions League, and it was rumored that he didn't want to have anything to do with Tottenham because he didn't want to, this is why you don't really believe what you read. They put it out there that he didn't want to have anything to do with Tottenham because he felt Daniel Levy was someone he wouldn't deal with. All of a sudden, I'm reading everywhere from Portuguese papers that the guy said, "Look, end of the season, I'm game. I think I've done what I've done here in Portugal, and I'm willing to move." And kind of like and he's really fond of Pedro Porro as well, so you never know.
Can't get me call, eh?
Yeah, it's like, but but the rumor that it wasn't. So now I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt. I don't know who the ones they say, oh, they're not interested. You don't know for sure because no one really knows what cards Daniel Levy and the rest of them are dealing with, or what the managers are really saying. So we don't really know. All I know is I think everyone knows that Julian Nagelsmann is the top choice, and everything else after that, Luis Enrique, all of them, but going back to your point about Ryan Mason, I made a point on Twitter as well and some other platforms that let's not forget this is now his second stint as an interim manager. That's two more goals at being a manager than Mikel Arteta had before he got to the Arsenal job. Mikel Arteta wasn't also Pep Guardiola's. He wasn't Pep Guardiola's assistant manager. He was a first team coach. Now, if I'm mistaken, somebody please in the comments correct me. But go and check. He was a coach, not an assistant manager. So he's virtually on the same level as Ryan Mason was for Antonio Conte. The only difference being this is now him taking over as a manager twice. And we've seen what's happened with Arteta. What Arteta has learned, I think, has been very important. And, I'm keen to watch this game against Crystal Palace. I think it's the first week Ryan Mason has had with the players. Let's see. Let's just see if they know what their mistakes are defensively. Let's see what's going to happen. But yeah, if it came down to it being him, I'll be honest with you, Soji, I wouldn't necessarily mind. I wouldn't. I think we're in a rebuild process, and we're looking for long term, and we're looking for someone with a connection to the club as well. And truth be told, Arteta was captain of Arsenal, but he was never one of their own. Ryan Mason has captained Tottenham, and he was a captain for our Europa League games. I always remember that. And he's one of our own. He came through our academy and everything. If he's someone who is Tottenham through and through, it's him. So, while we've been waiting for someone, let's say like Ledley King or someone to become manager, we actually have somebody now who virtually bleeds it. And you could see that during that fight back in Liverpool. That fight back was very much a Ryan Mason fight back. The guy just, telling them, you guys know what we're fighting for here. It was so disappointing at the end for him. And it would have been such a moral victory for Ryan Mason if we'd gotten the draw against Liverpool. So you could tell it meant something. So yeah, I'm team Ryan Mason if you don't get your targets. Why not?
Very, very interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm honestly, for me, I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't go for Poch at all, and I'm a Poch guy through and through. Okay, even though I'm a Spurs man, but yeah, I'm a Spurs man first, of course. I'm a Poch guy because in all my years of supporting Spurs, apart from the early days of the Kid Beckinsales of this world, and who sort of won stuff back in the day, um, for me, Poch has been the most exciting manager we've had ever since I started watching Spurs. Even though he ended up not winning anything while he was here, but I just felt that things just got cut short at the point when things were going to progress to the next level, right? And I feel that he has an unfinished business with Tottenham. I hope that one day he comes back and he wins plenty of stuff with us. I know we're going to win stuff. It's just really a matter of time because all the right foundations have been built, all the sort of structures are in place. It's just really for us to kick on and move on. Like people always say, look, no team has that what they call the divine right to win things. You got to go out and get it. And if you get it right and it works for you, you're a genius. And it doesn't work for you, you probably still people saying, okay, things are not working straight. You probably are not, but that's not the case. And I think for me, Levy has done a decent job of from where we are. Because if you look at it historically from where we are to where we are now, I mean, I know people have different points of view, and please be happy. I will be happy to read your comments and share your thoughts on this because I'm not holding a brief for Daniel here, but I think he's done a really good job given where we're coming from, and that's a fact, regardless of how you want to play it. Anyway, right. So moving on quickly. The lineup is probably going to be much more. I mean, I'm not sure we're going to have a huge difference in the lineup or the changes, but I mean, you sort of seem to have this view that okay, maybe Ryan Mason may want to change a few things in the lineup. What do you think? I mean,
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to change the formation. However, I don't know if you remember, like from the last game, the reason the game really changed, in my opinion, was when Pape Matissa came on and we went to a 3-5-2. But it was a
yeah.
3-5-2 where Son was running in behind and Kane entered midfield as well. And yeah, and you kind of had Perisic. Perisic had probably one of his best games for Tottenham against Liverpool. Least of all, the wonderful highlight of him dropping Virgil van Dijk on his backside that has been playing all week. So
That was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I saw that
that
again
was
over and over
magic. That
again. I
was
think,
magic.
and there are quite a few memes going on online about with that, with that move
Oh,
on BB.
yeah, he ended him, and yeah, he's had a very challenging season, but the man has about 9 assists in the Premier League, and that's not in Nigerian terms, that's not beans. The guy has
It's
nine
not small business
assists.
at all,
Yeah, so I look at it that he's just getting them in the right positions. Pedro Porro as well I thought he was excellent. I honestly think the mistake of the match was substituting him for Lucas, as we've now seen. I think defensively he was a problem in the first half. He lost his bearing. Him and Romero, their communication was poor. But as the game built on, you saw he was an outlet. And I still think, if it's not broke, don't try to fix it. But however, I think what we've noticed as well, I think the Kulusevski Richarlison thing is a rotation. And Richarlison has scored a goal now. I think Richarlison will get the nod over Kulusevski in this game. I don't know why, but I think so. I think he might start on the right side, or no, he might start on the left, Son on the right, and
All right.
Kane just
So
in between the two of
let's
them.
just sort of go back and look at this from right from the back from the goalkeeper. Okay, Lloris is injured, so presumably we'll have first time goals. That sort of speaks
Of
itself.
course, yeah, Foster is back.
Pedro Porro, Romero, Dyer, Longley. Is that a Perisic or
I honest to God wish that, and I wrote it several times, that Eric Dyer should be dropped. Eric Dyer should be dropped, or Eric Dyer, in my opinion, should be moved into midfield. You and I were talking about this whole football meta thing of Brighton, City, and the rest of them, where they play in such a way that certain members of the defense join midfield to make it better. I think the Dyer as a centre back thing, I think it's run its course. I think he is exceptionally positionally poor, and I think his confidence as a centre back is gone, and he will always be liable to mistakes. So I'd rather see either Longley going into that middle. This is what I like to see, but I think he will end up keeping this. I don't think he will change his. Ryan Mason looks like the kind of person that believes in redemption, and the kind of guy that will keep you on to play yourself back into form. So we'll see this, but ideally, I'll take him off. I'll take him out of the fine line, put Longley there, or radically, I would put Romero there and bring Tanganga to play right side, or even Sanchez. Sanchez to play right side of that defense, Romero in the center, Longley or Davis on the left. I'll do that. I'll just get Dyer out the line for now.
That's interesting. So Romero, so you're thinking maybe Romero, Sanchez, and Longley, or so Romero, Sanchez, and Davis.
And Davis, something I just think Dyer might
or
drop
maybe
out. I don't know why.
Okay, fine enough. So let's have a look and see. So presumably Dyer will take a rest, yes, and we probably have Sanchez. Isn't life funny, right? Sanchez has almost
really
was booed off the park when it came on in the match against Brighton. Will probably take a leading role. I think it might go with Davis. What do you reckon?
I think he's rotating. So Davis played the last one. Longley will play this one. I think he's rotating players now. He's not going like Conte. Conte used to go like certain English physical matches. You play Davis and not Longley. Then you played Longley in Champions League. I think this guy is rotating certain players. So the rotational players I think are Davies, Longley, Richarlison, and Kulusevski. He can't really touch much in midfield, though. I wouldn't be surprised if Skip dropped out. But we're coming to midfield. I wouldn't be surprised if Skip dropped out and Sarr came on. I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so Porro on the right hand side, Sanchez, Romero, Longley, and Perisic, right? And then middle.
That's what I want to see.
In the middle of the park, what are we doing here? Something happened to my screen here. I don't know what's going on here. So in the middle of the park, we'll have
Skip and Højbjerg.
Yes, Skip and Højbjerg, or maybe Sarr and Højbjerg, right?
Yeah, I don't know if well, the injury wasn't that bad to his head. He's a British boy. He can get over that easily. So I don't think we'll keep him out. So no, we'll keep Skip and Højbjerg. I think Skip and Højbjerg will still stay.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Sarr came on. Sarr played the game.
Interesting. That's an interesting one. So right, and then in front three would have Kane, Son. Are we having Richarlison up front or?
I would say Richarlison. And Richarlison's finally, by the grace of God, by fire and by force, he's actually finally scored a goal. So they can stop the Richarlison hasn't scored a goal in the entire season business. And I put him down, and if Ryan Mason has got them playing, if they play the way they played that second half, barring the defensive mistake, I see Richarlison doing well. Richarlison getting on the score sheet now. I think he has gotten that monkey off his back, so to speak. I think the guy go, okay, why don't I? And let's see what we can do. But yeah, this is what I think it will be. I would like to see them drop Dyer and see how it can be. And either put Sanchez. I was going to go Tanganga, but possibly Sanchez because Sanchez has played. And see how it goes.
Okay, so the full lineup would look like this. We'll have Foster, Sanchez, Romero, Longley. This is a predicted lineup, right? Porro on the right hand side, Perisic on the left, and middle, Skip and Højbjerg as usual. change one up front and bring in Kulusevski for bring in Richardson for Kulusevski.
Richardson.
And
Yeah,
then the other change would be, two changes would be Davis and Dyer going to the bench and replaced by Longley and Sanchez. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's tell us what you think of this lineup. We'll look forward to your comments in the comment section below. And yeah, I mean, if you give us your own lineup as well, that would be very interesting. We'll compare notes. Yes. So, predicted scoreline, Chuma. That's the one. Okay, bear in mind that the corresponding fixture away to Crystal Palace ended up us winning 4-0. Yeah. And that was a big match in the sense that I think Son scored twice, I think, or was it Matt Doherty that scored twice? One of them scored. But Doherty was on form in that period, and he was really causing a lot of problems playing that forward wing back role very, very effectively. I think Porro will be well suited to do that now. If we have a quick look at Crystal Palace, they've got a few dangerous players, haven't they? Especially those two young Nigerian boys, Eze and Olise.
I absolutely love them. In fact, I saw something in the news the other day that they might be getting a third Nigerian, a young man who used to play for the people down the road called Chuba Akpom.
Right. Okay. So yes,
he played for Middlesbrough. But those two boys, those two young men, Olise and Eze, are just absolutely purring at the moment, and Zaha has come back from injury as well. I think the thing we're talking about, the new manager bounce and Roy Hodgson, it's kind of similar to Brighton and Potter. Brighton played well under Potter, but they couldn't score goals. Something he carried with him to Chelsea. De Zerbi comes in, and De Zerbi has patterns that make them score goals. So now they're scoring goals by the handfuls. Patrick Vieira's huge problem was they just couldn't score goals. And they play very well. They play attractive football. He was playing possession-based football and just couldn't score goals. He goes away. Roy Hodgson comes back, simplifies it to like a very simple formation and system, and lets those boys run riot. And the boys have just gone out and done the job. So, yes, I think in this match, I think the reason we beat them was because we were better tactically and they couldn't score. Now they can score. Now they sort of like the hood on them scoring's up. But if you look at the opposition they've played, Tottenham have better forwards than them. So we will also be on their defenders as well. And their defenders are quite good. They have a Mark Gahey as well. Good, very good defender. However, Kane and the rest have their number. We had their number last season, have their number this season as well at different points. So but Crystal Palace is one of those teams. You remember like Charlton Athletic. You remember there are these clubs that just from South London are they're just pests. You can't wait for them to get relegated sometimes. And I have a few Crystal Palace friends. They should forgive me, but there are these clubs that they just take when you need the 3 points, they just show up at your home and just nick 3 points. But I don't know. I wouldn't say I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening in this game.
I remember this guy who used to play for them. Blonde-headed guy, English guy. I can't remember his name now. Was it Andy Robinson? Gosh.
Is it was he bald-headed or blonde?
Blonde. Gosh, I can't. And is it Andy Robinson? Yes, I think it was Andy Robinson. He gave us a torrid time in his time. This was the days of can't remember this guy.
Ian Wright for us. Was it after Ian Wright and Mark Price?
After Ian Wright's time. Around time.
Wait, hold on. Is it not blonde-haired guy? What do you call him?
I think Andy Robinson.
Kenneth Anderson.
No, not Kenneth Anderson. This is an English guy.
This is an English guy. The only blonde I know with them is Jeff Thomas. That was their captain.
Not Jeff Thomas.
Not Jeff Thomas.
Gosh.
Then there was a bald-headed guy. There was a bald-headed striker they had that was very evil. Like guy could score anytime he felt like.
Yeah,
He
oh
even made
gosh,
the
can't
England
remember
squad.
this guy's. I can't remember his name now, but he gave us a torrid time in those days, you know. Short guy, very very prolific for Crystal Palace, you know, and
Really?
he just gave us a torrid time. This was post this guy that played for us, Armstrong. Armstrong played for them, didn't he?
Armstrong played for them. Yeah, so this is like
Yeah.
90, 94, 95.
Well, we're talking about 2006, 2000. You know, gosh, I
That's
can't remember his name
probably
for the life of me. You know,
that has really like it's really it's really intrigued me now. Like
let's have a look. What's
it's
this
really
guy's
I'm
name
really
now? Lord, not this. Lord. I can't remember for the life of me. Let's have a look. I know it was in the time of was it the time of Clinton Morrison? Clinton Morrison was very young then, wasn't he?
yeah.
Lord have mercy. Uh, mm,
Dougie
oh,
Friedman, James Scowcroft. No, I can't see an English guy that was a striker. If this 2006.
or maybe it was even
Ah,
2005. You know. Anyway, so that we'll remember that. But it's one of those players
oh
that
yeah, we
really goes a
remember.
story
Yeah.
time back in the day. You know. But I mean, scoreline. Let's just come up with a scoreline. What's your
Let's go to
prediction?
Gola. Um,
Sorry.
I would like it to be as simple as possible. Simple scoreline. I would love a clean sheet just to prove that the defense have learned something and we don't concede after 20, 20, 30 minutes. So, but the defense is liable to the attack is very, very strong. So they're liable to force mistakes. So, you know, 3-1, I think. I think 3-1
Is
sounds
it
like
3-1 Tottenham?
a 3-1 to Tottenham. Hope that's what I'm gunning for. Yes, 3-1 to Tottenham.
Okay. I think I'll agree with you. 3-1 Tottenham. I think it's a Andy Johnson. Yes, Andy Johnson.
That's yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's so he was bald though. He went bald. He
oh, the
shaved his
ball.
whole
Okay,
head off.
yes. Andy
Yeah,
Johnson's
he
guy I
was
was looking
bald.
for.
Andy Johnson. Yes, that's
Yeah,
the one. Andrew
Andy
Johnson. Andy
Johnson's guy I
Johnson.
was looking
That's it.
for. Yeah,
Yeah,
it gave us a
yeah.
torrid time back then, you know?
Oh yes, yes. Pocket rocket guy.
I
Yes,
know,
very
right?
much,
You know, yeah. Andy
very
Johnson,
much.
yeah.
He managed to make the England squad playing
Yes.
for
Yeah.
Palace. So that says a lot to me. Where you get England
Hmm.
recognition. Yeah. So
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, thank you very much. Leave your score predictions in the comment section below. We look forward to hearing from you. This is Come On You Spurs TV. And thank you very much for joining us. Yeah, we will see you on the other side. In the meantime, come on you
come
Spurs.
on, Spurs.